The big story of today, President Vladimir Putin has won a landslide victory in the Russian presidential elections. The outcome means 71-year-old Putin is set to embark on another 6-year term in office as he cements his strong grip over the country. Reports claim that Putin won more than 87% of the votes. Communist candidate Nikolai Kharitonov came at a distant second with under 4% of the votes. Nationwide turnout was 74.22 at 6 p.m. GMT when polls closed. In 2018, the turnout was 67.5%. In his victory speech, Putin said that he will prioritize tasks associated to the war in Ukraine.
In general, the initiative is fully on the side of the Russian army. In some directions, our guys are butchering the enemy. We are advancing every day. Gradually, very delicately, but every day. This is a bit more than active defense, but we all see this anyway.
Putin criticized the US political and judicial systems as he says that the whole world is laughing at Washington. He also said that he would work with whoever wins the US elections, expressing no preference for any candidate. Putin in his speech warned that the West that the presence of Western troops in Ukraine could push the world to the brink of World War III. However, the Russian leader said that he is ready for talks on a French proposal for a ceasefire in Ukraine during the Olympic Games.
I do not know about the statement of France's president. We are ready to discuss any issues, but as always, within any situation, we will proceed from the interests of the Russian Federation and, of course, the situation at the front line.
Meanwhile, Western countries condemned the elections. The United States said that the vote was neither free nor fair. Germany called it a pseudo-election under an authoritarian ruler. UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron criticized the illegal holding of elections on Ukrainian territory. Ukrainian president, meanwhile, said and accused Putin of leading a dictatorship in Russia, while adding that Russia's presidential election was an illegitimate imitation. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Putin for the win. He said that he is looking forward to work together to strengthen India-Russia ties. During the elections, thousands of protesters demonstrated against Putin. The protests took place at polling stations both inside Russia and abroad. In one of these polling stations, Navalny's widow was also present. Yulia Navalnaya said that she wrote her late husband's name on the ballot paper. The Russian presidential election witnessed an absence of any real challengers, as major opposition figures are either in abroad or in jail. Or worse, they are dead. Now, to understand these developments better, we spoke to Dimitri Babich. He is from Moscow and is a political analyst at Voice of Russia.
Well, it was an important vote, despite what the Western media says, because it was a sort of a plebiscite on the war. People who strongly disapproved of Vladimir Putin's decision to aggravate the military action in Ukraine, which has been going on since 2014, they could vote for another candidate. They could vote, for example, for Vladislav Davankov, who openly said that he would support negotiations with Ukraine now, without conditions and probably at Russia's disadvantage. So basically, it was a plebiscite, it was a vote. Do you support the forceful conduct of the war, which President Putin is doing now, or do you support another solution? And it's very important that 87% of the voters supported what we would call the war effort in this situation. As for the fact that the win was known in advance, well, there are such situations. Would anyone say, for example, during the French election recently, that Marine Le Pen would beat Emmanuel Macron in the second round? No, it was a foregone conclusion that Macron would win. The same story was between Jacques Chirac and Jean-Marie Le Pen. in 2002. So there are situations when you have a clear favorite at the election, and this was precisely the case now in Russia, aggravated by war.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.